for this video, we are going to talk about problem solving using different types of proportion. So, we can actually apply our lesson in proportion in solving real-life problems. But then, we should be aware na we have three types of proportion. Okay, now we need to use in solving word problems or real-life problems. So we need to know what is the difference between these three. So the first one is what we call the direct proportion. So, and this is the sample problem for direct proportion. Pag sinabi natin direct proportion, it states that if one value increases, the other value also increases. Or if one value decreases, the other value also decreases. So let's say for example, si A, tumaas yung value niya. Si B, tataas din yung value niya. Okay, ganun sa direct proportion. Same na way yung patutunguhan nila. And let's say for example, si A bumaba or nag-decrease, si B bababa din siya yung values niya. Okay? So let's solve this word problem for you to much understand how to solve problems regarding direct proportion. Okay? So, for you to solve that, you need to rewrite the given in fraction notation or column notation. Pero I will suggest na you use fraction notation kasi mas mabilis, okay, kapag fraction notation. And then, you need to remember the format in writing the given in fraction notation kasi iba-iba ng format. Kapag ang sinasolve mo na word problem is direct proportion, ang format po ng ratios mo ay ganito. Okay, so let's say for example, yung unang given mo ay A over B. Yung pangalawang given mo si B. Ito yung unang classification ng given mo si A, and then yung pangalawang classification ng given mo si B is equal to A over B. Okay? So, yan. So, depende sa given natin. Yan yung format na gagamitin mo when you write the given in fraction notation for you to be able to solve what is the missing given or what is asked. So, let's solve this word problem regarding direct proportion. So, a car travels 120 miles in 3 hours with constant speed. So, how many hours will it take to travel 200 miles? So, okay. I-analyze po muna natin yung problem. When you solve real-life problems, kailangan natin i-analyze. So, nung nagmaneho siya ng 120 miles, inabot siya ng 3 hours. Okay? Paano naman kapag yung idadrive niya is 200 miles? So, in short, tumaas yung distance, diba, ng kailangan niyang i-drive. From 120, naging 200 miles siya. So, i-expect natin sa time or sa hours, tataas din, of course, kasi tumaas yung distance ng idadrive niya. Kaya siya tinawag na direct proportion, itong problem na to. Yung distance niya, yung miles, tumaas, diba? From 120, naging 200. Therefore, we can assume na yung hours in driving that distance in constant speed, mas mataas pa sa 3 hours yung makukuha natin. So, tumaas yung distance, we will assume na tataas din yung time kasi tumaas yung distance. That's why it is called a direct proportion, yung problem na to. So, when we solve this problem, let's say this is our solution, isulat natin yung given natin in ratio. In fraction notation, specifically. So, let's say yung A natin, yung unang classification ng given natin, let's say dito yung distance. Si A yung distance natin. Yung distance yung miles. Okay? na dinadrive niya over yung time, yung hours, equals distance number 1 and then time number 1. Yung unang given na distance and unang given na time is equal to distance 2 and then time 2. Yung pangalawang distance and then yung pangalawang time na given. Okay? Kapag sinulat natin to in fraction notation, yung unang distance na nasa problem natin is 120 miles. So, ipalit natin yung 120 miles dito sa distance 1. So, that would be 120 over, ano yung unang na-mention na time sa problem? That is 3 hours. So, yun yung unang time mo. So, 120 over 3 is equal to distance number 2. According to this problem, ang distance number 2 natin is 200 miles. Over yung time 2 natin, that is what we are looking for. Okay? How many hours? Yan yung hinahanap. So, yung time 2 natin, wala siyang value. Okay? So, isulat natin n kasi siya yung hahanapin natin. N is what we are looking for. Okay? Yung number ng hours, kung gaano niya katagal i-drive yung 200 miles in constant speed. Okay? And then, just like what I told you or teach you last lesson, for you to be able to find a missing term in a proportion, you need to cross-multiply if the given is written in fraction notation. So, kapag kinross-multiply natin yan, it will become 120 times n is equal to 3 times 200. Okay? 120 times n, you just need to combine them. If you're going to multiply a number and a variable or a letter, you need to just combine them. So, 120n is equal to 3 times 200, that will be equal to 600. Okay? Over, divide natin sila both by 120 para ma-cancel yung 120 beside n. Kasi we are looking for the value of n. So, bawal siya na may katabi. So, for us to cancel that, we need to divide that by 120. And kung dinivide natin yung side na to by 120, di-divide din natin si 600 by 120. And then, n is equal to 600 over 120 or 600 divide natin kay 120, that will be equal to 5. So, n is equal to, anong unit yung gagamitin natin? Depende. Ang hinahanap ay hours. So, yun yung unit niya. We have 5 hours. So, kung i-rewrite natin yung answer natin, we will get, ang answer natin ay 5 hours yung answer natin, di ba? So, ang answer natin is 5 hours. And then, for you to be able to get kung bakit ito direct proportion, let's see if yung values nila is same ng direction. Rewrite natin yung ratios. So, we have 120 over 3 is equal to 200 over 5. So, si 120 and si 200 yung distance, di ba? And si 3 and 5, yun yung hours. Kung napapansin ninyo, nung nag-increase yung value ng distance, nag-increase din yung value ng hours, di ba? So, ito kasi yung distance mo, ito yung time mo. So, ibig sabihin, we can conclude na habang tumataas pala yung miles na dinadrive mo, tumataas din yung oras na kailangan mo para mapuntahan or ma-drive yung distance na yon. That's why this problem here is a direct proportion. Kasi nung nag-increase yung distance, nag-increase din yung time. Okay? So that is how you solve problem regarding direct variation. How about yung second classification or second kind ng proportion? So we have what we call indirect or inverse proportion. So ito naman, si indirect, of course, kabaliktaran siya ng direct. Sa direct proportion, kapag yung isang value mo ay tumaas, tataas din yung pangalawang value mo. Sa indirect or inverse proportion, kapag tumaas yung isang value mo, bababa yung isang value mo. Or kapag bumaba yung isang value mo, tataas yung other value mo. So, baliktad, no? Direct proportion kasi, same sila ng way na pinupuntahan. Kung nag-i-increase sila pareho. Kung nag-decrease sila pareho. Sa indirect proportion, baliktad, magkataliwas sila. So, tumataas yung isa, bumababa yung isa, tumataas yung isa. So, this problem is an example of an indirect or inverse proportion. So, makikita natin kung bakit later on. And you need to remember this format when you are solving problems regarding indirect or inverse proportion. So, ang format niyan, you have your A here, yung first classification ng given mo, and then yung second clarification ng given mo. Okay? So, yeah. So, sa fraction notation na gagawin mo, when you write the given in fraction notation, this will be the format that you will need to use. So, kung napapansin nyo kanina sa direct variation, you have AB is equal to AB. Kaya dito, A over A is equal to B over B. So, let's solve this problem para mas ma-visualize natin on how to solve problems regarding indirect proportion. First, i-analyze muna natin yung problem. So, if 32 men can reap a field in 15 days, in how many days can 20 men reap the same field? Kung napapansin ninyo, yung 32 men, sabi, kaya nilang i-reap. What is a reap? Gapasin, gano'n, something like that. No? Yung isang field within 15 days, ilang days naman daw yung aabutin kapag yung bilang ng men is naging 20. In short, yung bilang ng men ay bababa. Okay? So, if we will be writing the given, so we have yung men and then men and men. Ganyan yung mangyayari kasi we will be using this format. And then yung days over days. So, para malaman natin kung first or second siya, yung numerator mo dito, yun yung unang given na number ng men. And then, dito yung sa pangalawa. Sa days naman, yung numerator mo, yung second na given for days. And then, yung denominator mo is yung first na given ng number ng days. Okay? Opposite yung magkamukha. Unlike dun sa direct proportion. Kung napapansin niyo yung difference. Okay. So, let's solve, no? So, yung number of men natin na unang minention dito is 32. Ayan. So, i-substitute natin, ipalit natin doon. Dito. So that is 32 over yung second number ng men natin dito sa problem is 20. Is equal to yung days na pangalawa, that will be n. Kasi yun yung hinahanap natin, ano? Yung number of days, kapag 20 na lang yung men na nag-reap ng field. And then, yung number of days na unang na-mention sa problem is 15. So, palit natin dito. Ayan. So, we now have our ratios. So, cross-multiply natin for us to solve what is the value of n. So, it will become 32 times 15 is equal to 20 times n. So, 32 times 15, that is equal to 480 is equal to 20n. 20 times n is simply just 20n. Then, we need to divide 20n by 20 para makancel yung 20 na katabi ni n. We also need to divide 480 by 20. Kasi kung ano yung dinivide mo on this side, yun din yung divide mo on the other side. So, 480 divided by 20, that will be equal to 24. And this will be equal to n. This 24 equals n can be written as n is equal to 24. They are just the same. So, what you need, so we are looking for the number of days. So, ang unit ng sagot natin, ng answer natin is days. Okay? So, we have 24 days. So, i-write ko yung answer dito. Ang answer natin is 24 days. So, it will take 24 days if 20 men will reap the same field. Okay? And then, for you to be able to understand or much understand indirect proportion, so, rewrite natin yung given. So, you have 32 over 20 equals 24 over 15. Okay? So, let's observe this. So, these are the number of your men, diba? This is the number of your men and these are the number of days sa problem. Okay? So, nung una, yung 32 men mo, naging 20 na lang. So, in short, from 32, naging 20 siya. Ibig sabihin, nag-decrease yung number ng men mo nung una. So, habang nagde-decrease yung number ng men mo, yung number ng days na kailangan para ma-reap yung isang field ay nagtataas naman. So, paano ko nasabi? Kasi, di ba, when 32 men is reaping the field, it will take them 15 days. Ito yung magkakatapat. Sila yung nasa problem. Yung 32 men, para ma-reap nila yung isang field, 15 days yung kailangan, di ba? Paano kapag naging 20 na lang yung 32? Of course, it will take them a lot of time or a lot of days. Greater than yung days na kailangan ng 32 men to reap the field. So, from 15 days, kung 20 men na lang yung magre-reap ng field, magiging 24. Okay? So, habang bumababa yung number ng men na magre-reap ng field, tumataas naman yung number ng days for them to finish reaping the field. So, nakita nyo? Kaya siya indirect. Yung value ng isa bumaba, yung value ng other tumaas. Okay? So, yun. That is how you solve problems regarding indirect or inverse proportion. And then lastly, we have what we call partitive proportion. So, kapag naman partitive proportion, it is described as if a whole number is divided into proportional parts. Okay? So, sa problem, kapag may nakita kayo na number and ratios, therefore, most probably, you need to solve that because that is a partitive proportion. And you need to use a certain method in solving a partitive proportion. So, like this example, no? This problem is an example of a partitive proportion. So, Ruby, Rose, and our business partners, they agreed to divide their profits in the ratio 1:2:3. How much should each receive if the total profit is 6,000 pesos? So, as you can see, there is a whole number in this problem, which is 6,000, and there is a presence of a ratio, which is written in colon notation. So, if the problem is like this, most probably that problem is a partitive proportion. Or you need to solve the method for partitive proportion to solve that problem. So, paano nga ba nagsosolve ng problems regarding partitive proportion? So, you need to remember this format. And problems regarding partitive proportion, kadalasan ang mga answer dito is 2 pataas. Hindi lang 1 yung answer, 2 pataas. So, the format is whole number divided by the sum of the ratio. That will be equal to, let's say, n. And then you need to multiply n to each ratio. So that will be answer 1, and then b times n, answer 2, c times n, answer 3. So depende kung ilan yung given na number sa ratio mo. In this problem kasi we have 1, 2, 3 ratios. So we have 3 answers. Pero kung ang ratio lang na given mo, let's say 1:2, you have 2 answers. No? In this problem kasi we have 3 ratios or 3 numbers in your ratios. Therefore, you can assume na you have 3 answers. So how do we solve this type of problem? So, sulat natin yung solution, and then, yung whole number dito sa given natin is equal to 6,000. Okay? Sulat natin yung given according sa format. 6,000, i-divide natin sa sum ng mga numbers in your ratio. So, you need to add 1, 2, and 3. So, that is your ratio, no? 1:2:3. You need to add those numbers. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, solving natin yung n. 6,000 divided by the sum of 1, 2, and 3, that will be equal to 6. So, 6,000 divided by 6, n is equal to 1,000. Kasi 6,000 divided by 6, that will be equal to 1,000. Ngayon, si n yung 1,000, diba? You need to divide 1,000 to each ratio or to each number in your ratio. Okay? So, your ratio nyo is 1, 2, and 3. So, for you to solve the answers, you need to multiply each ratio to 1,000. So, first yung una muna, we have 1, di ba? Times natin sa 1,000. That will be equal to 1,000. Yan yung una mong answer. Pangalawa, yung ratio mo is 2. And then yung pangatlo ay 3. So, times natin sa 1,000 sila lahat. Then 2 times 1,000, that will be equal to 2,000. 3 times 1,000, that will be equal to 3,000. So, yun ang mga answer mo. So, this is answer number 1, answer number 2, and answer number 3. And then, for you to be able to find kung kay nino yung 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000, that will be according to the position of the girls in this problem. So, Ruby, Rose, and Anne. So, si Ruby yung 1, si Rose yung 2, si Anne yung 3. So, therefore, yung 1,000 na na profit ay kay Ruby kasi siya yung unang na-mention dun sa problem. Kay Ruby yan. And then, yung 2,000 na profit, yan yung kay Rose. And then, yung 3,000 na profit, that will be for Anne. Okay? That is according to the problem. Ruby, Rose, and Anne. So, 1 is Ruby, 2 is Rose, 3 is Anne. Kaya 1 is to 2 is to 3. Okay? So, if you want to check if tama yung answer nyo sa partitive proportion, pag-add-addin nyo yung nakuha nyong answers, and kapag nakuha nyo yung whole number na given, therefore, tama yung answer ninyo. So, yung whole number na given natin is 6,000. Add nyo yung nakuha nyo na answers. If it will be equal to 6,000, that is correct. So, 1,000 plus 2,000 plus 3,000 is equal to 6,000. Therefore, your answers are correct. So, yeah, we have 3 answers. So, the profit of Ruby is 1,000. The profit of Rose is 2,000. The profit of Anne is 3,000. So, this will be the answers in solving a partitive proportion. So, that is how you solve problems in real life using proportions.